Welcome back to the grid culture. Let's talk about this crazy fucking story, man. These two daycare workers running a child fight ring down there in South Carolina.
What were you thinking?
Newberry County Sheriff Lee Foster incredulous following the arrest of two daycare workers at Kids Unlimited in Prosperity for allegedly encouraging kids to fight.
And they kind of looked at it as something uh, maybe almost equivalent to a sporting event, to where they were kind of trying to motivate the kids into participating in that.
Erica Sarai Jones and Serena Caldwell appeared in bond court Thursday on child abuse and neglect charges. The incident report lists at least 14 juvenile victims between the ages of 3 and 4. After reviewing security footage, the daycare immediately alerted the sheriff's office and fired Jones and Caldwell.
We've had daycare workers that have assaulted children, and daycare workers that may have taken punishment a bit too far, but nothing like this. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
In addition to inciting these kids to fight, Caldwell's also accused of striking one of the young children with a box of baby wipes. One parent who wished to remain anonymous says she doesn't believe this is indicative of a culture at the daycare.
I hate that these two women kind of tarnished the name of this daycare, but at the same time, I'm glad that it was caught and they will have to serve justice. But at the end of the day, there's no real justice, because how do you remove that from a child's head? You've altered their life.
Um, they're being charged with multiple accounts of child neglect, child abuse, which they should be prosecuted. They deserve the maximum, especially anything that you talking about dealing with kids. It's just whatever the maximum it is to this, man. You dealing with other people's children when doing shit like this. Yeah, this is not me trying to overreact or trying to virtue signal or anything like that. No, a message needs to be sent. This very serious manner. But they're down there running a child fighting ring, having kids fight each other. Said it was up to 14 kids between the ages of 3 and 4. And they're forcing them to fight. For what reason, I don't know. I know at times you got parents that may have their children, which, I'm not condoning, but, you got parents that may have their kids, particularly boys, going up against going up against each other, fighting each other to, I guess, to promote and encourage toughness and encouraging, them standing up for themselves. But that's while I, don't condone that. That's parents. You're talking about dropping your kids off to a daycare center, and this is what's going on. Just let this be an eye opener, as most parents should understand. If you haven't thought of this, you're just sleeping in la la land. But you should know that whether you're dropping your kid off to a daycare or a school, you don't have control at that moment. Within that time frame. I know it's tougher in today's age with, inflation and everything, where even when, it's more ideal to have a two-parent two-parent unit to help prevent these type of things, so you can have somebody who can, whether however y'all want to work it, primarily it'll be to be the man that's out, making the money and out working, because, of course, the woman, she bears the children. You go through all of the physical labor and everything that goes along with that, the 9 months and everything. But typically, you want somebody that's there with the children, that's able to nurture them and, teach them and, basically protect them. But when you put them out into that world and you send them off to these schools, daycare, whatever, you've left them in somebody else's care who may not have their best interests at heart. Most of the time you're going to find good people. Most people have good intentions, and they will do what's best for the child. But every now and then you'll have those folks. There's a lot of crazy people out here. So this is just a risk that you take. You know, they can affect your kid physically, mentally, educationally, by planting particular type of ideologies within your kid's mind, and those are things that you'll have to contend with when your kid comes back to you. So these are just things to be aware of, but this is just fucking sick, man. And to see two women doing this shit, not only, any adult encouraging some behavior like this is, fucking crazy, but to see two women, it seems like something you would mostly expect from a man, but to see, because men are testosterone and shit like that, but see two women doing this, fucking nutcases, man. And it gotta be black folks, man. What the fuck is going on? I mean, if you want to see two people fight, I mean, get a fucking video game, get Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, or something, and do that. If you're fucking bored, do this with kids. So I hope they get the maximum of whatever's coming their way. I hope they get the maximum, and yeah, they have to sit and think on this. What makes it so bad, as I was looking this story up, I came across that 5 years ago the same thing was happening down in Houston at a daycare between and it was two women, black women once again. What's going on? Like, I'm not saying that this don't happen with no other race. I haven't looked too much into it, but let's just leave the race all out of it. It's just crazy, man. You adults, and especially seeing women doing this shit. It's crazy. In that one, they were fighting with Hulk hands or whatnot, and you got one of the grown-ass woman jumping up and down like a little girl, giddy and excited to see this crap. Like,
video shows young children in St. Louis, Missouri hitting and punching each other at a daycare while teachers stood by and cheered them on. Authorities say a 10-year-old took this video with his iPad. He's with older kids in the next room. That was his little brother crying after 3 fights. The child alerted his mother to what was happening.
He said that the daycare workers were making them fight. I want them to be held accountable, and I don't want this to happen to any other child.
A police report says the director immediately fired both teachers and called the child abuse hotline. The district attorney's office says it declined to prosecute because there wasn't enough evidence that any laws were broken.
what is going on? Watch your kids. Be aware. Vet everything. Vet everything. Because it's a cold world out here. It's the grit culture. I'll holler at y'all later.